Are you a tree or are you a vine? By Stacey Harris. What is the one thing that holds most people back? What makes you not be the best version of who you are right now? Well, the one thing that holds you back is fear. The fear of the unknown, being defeated, rejected, the fear of yourself and knowing that there will be failures on your way to greatness, like that uncertain feeling, that subconscious voice questioning your every move, leaving you confused like you are a bomb that needs to be diffused, and that subconscious voice telling you this and telling you that. It is always lurking in the back of your mind. Fear is an unpleasant and often strong emotion. It makes you weak and runs through your veins. It's like a vine that intertwines on a tree, sucking all your energy as it strangles your life away. Fear fills you with anxiety. It inebriates you with confusion. It terrifies you and completely paralyzes you. It makes you question yourself as it confounds and impounds you like a dog locked in a cage, not knowing what to do. Fear makes you wonder, how did it all begin? And when will it all end? So to find out how it began, don't look to where you have fallen, but look to where you first slipped and began to fall. That's where you will find the answer to your fear. It will make you, a good person with good intentions, make bad situations worse as you make bad decision after bad decision. Fear will make a competent and experienced sailor paralyzed and anxious because of the gathering winds. This sailor will accidentally turn the boat into danger because the scared sailor and all of us who are scared, we cannot turn the direction of the wind. So you must adjust your sail, change your game plan, change your direction time and time again. Fear doesn't care if you are black or white. It doesn't care if you are rich or poor. It doesn't care if you are young or old, if you are the president or a peasant. It will take away your courage and put your entire life on hold. Some of us fear snakes and some of us spiders. Some of us loss, some emptiness and some failure. Some fear commitments, trials and tribulations. Some fear loneliness or getting sick. But the greatest fear of all that will ultimately make you fall is the fear of yourself, that you will never make it, or you will not fulfill your destiny, or that you, the man or woman in the mirror, will be judged for your mistakes, or that you will let people down. As a consequence, you will never know or even comprehend that you have greatness and innate ability to get things done no matter what the situation. This greatness is residing within you like a mighty warrior fighting for his king, knowing that the glory and his victory is all for one and one for all. It's not me or he. It's not him or she. The mighty warrior refuses to let this vine keep the kingdom blind as it tries to dethrone and have as its own the king's glorious crown. So don't forget that you cannot change crime or violence, wars or hatred. These things are outside your control. This fear that holds you back and keeps you from being free is trying to suck your life away, like the blind vine tried to do to the fearless tree, for the vine grew wild, sucking the life as it tried to kill the tree. It was plain for everyone to see, for it all started in the spring. Then soon the summer season came, and later the leaf-falling autumn and its brisk, cool breeze, and it too passed. However, when those cold and dark-filled days of winter finally arrived, the growing and fearless tree, despite all the life-sucking, the spirit-choking efforts of the vine, it couldn't keep the fearless tree from standing. You see, the tree who is you and me, had a vision and a plan to stand, that the vine, all wild and blind, could not comprehend, could not understand, because the vine was strangling the tree and growing widely and moving around blindly, not knowing where it was going or what it was doing. The wild vine was just smiling, thinking it was winning, but in the end, it was losing, because it was moving with delusion, as the deep-rooted and fearless tree was learning and growing, knowing it was in total control. And in the end, the tree had the last laugh. Are you a tree or are you a vine? Are you a tree or are you a vine? Do you choose to be fearless or do you choose to be blind? No one, not even the richest people, not even the most powerful nations, can control what others choose to do. You see the vine, like a soldier, who steps on a mine as it tried and tried. How many soldiers have died trying to control others' actions and their minds? It's the lack of control, the fear of losing your life and what is dear. Kill or be killed, be fearless or blind. That's why in the end, the vine went to war against the tree. So blind it could not see, for the tree, like a fearless soldier, stood its ground and watched the wild and blind vine as it emphatically started to wither, as it faded and slowly lost control of its very own life. Trying to kill the fearless tree cost the vine all its strangling like a giant python, squeezing and squeezing until your life stops, all its choking, trying to keep you from breathing that very life-giving and underrated breath of fresh air. Heimlich had it right. He has saved millions of lives. As the vine spun out of control, it lost the war to control the tree, its future life, its nutrient intake. It wanted to control with delight all the might and the very plight of the fearless tree. The vine, it put up a good fight, but it was overwhelmed like you're about to get in a boxing ring and get hit by a strong right from Iron Mike. The vine eerily and quietly and unceremoniously, without any remembrance, succumbed to the cold winter night. And that's when the fearless tree started to prosper. Its leaves started growing colorful. They started to bloom. Not only did it survive, it started to rise. It was deep-rooted with its eye on the prize. The tree not only did not die, this fearless tree stood up to the vine like an uprising, but not all surprising. The fearless tree soon began to grow. Like a great nation standing against aggression, it began to thrive. It's your fear that keeps you from taking risks and taking chances. You need your roots to be deep, like a soldier's trench, dug with care to protect and to defend against wild dictators and blind oppressors. Be like the tree, a soldier dug in, waiting for the battle to begin. This tree, it will never, I mean ever, give in. Fear takes control over your life, bringing lots of confusion and lots of strife. It took a long time for the vine to finally die. There were hills to climb, many new visions to find. It took time, but in our mind, it's this hard time, and we forget about the grind. We don't want to learn. We don't want to be reminded. We become blind. And sometimes we rush the plan. We forget to understand. To win a war, you have to dig in, be brave like a soldier making his last stand. We forego waiting. We change our stance. We want instant results. We want to win the war swiftly and stealth like we want to win right now. We say, I have been fighting and losing this war. I need to fix this problem right now. Tomorrow is too late. I need to take back control of my life, not tomorrow, but today. You are anxious just to make things right. So in haste, like a losing nation, we don't want to be disgraced or to be debased or stuffed like a Thanksgiving turkey who is about to be basted. We soon make waste as we try to move the great mountains without any help. We try to move these obstacles in one single day. In your haste, you must first change little things in your lives. by moving the small stones and not the mountains today. And keep lifting these little stones day by day. Don't let anything stop you or get in your way. Don't let anything hinder your decision making, make you hesitate or make you delay. In the trench, do I leave my fellow soldiers, or do I stay to the end to do battle another day? Do I stay until my last breath is taken away? It is like the big bad wolf with his big red eyes. His big shiny teeth is eating away your life one bite at a time. Are you a tree or are you a vine? You, the man or woman looking at you in the mirror. You are the only one who can see your fear. You are the only one who can hear your fear, because this fear resides inside you. It is within you. It is wild and blind, and its only purpose is to destroy your life and defeat your mind. So that day, and that day it could be next week, it could be next year, or it even could be today, the day you start to control yourself and have no fear. The stress of daily life you will easily bear, for on this day it will become clear there will be no more fear. Like a soldier digging trenches, staring death in the eye, just trying to make things right, even if it costs your life. This day is the day you face your fear. Kick it completely out of your life. You will no longer have any fear from within, for you will finally have control over your own life. The world once feared Hitler. He caused 50 million people to lose their lives. He used this great fear to control, to destroy, to manipulate. We feared the end of the world. We feared the prophecies. We feared the destruction of everything we have worked for was near. So the great nations, and you and I are like a great nation, took on this fear relentlessly and courageously. Year after year, they would find a new level. They would find a new gear. And soon this fear, which was real, that the world was coming to an end, it was finally, thanks to the great soldiers who dug the trenches, defended the masses, and they soon defeated this Nazi vine. Yes, it took time to defeat this vine, as it strangled the innocent, not by mistake, but by design. As it choked the European nations, it controlled their land. Most importantly, this vine controlled their minds. To date, this has been the biggest fear man has ever witnessed. Enemies with great power, enemies who show no mercy, enemies with no fear. Fear is not screaming in terror like someone losing a fight. It's not being frightened by a movie or having no light on a dark and dreary night. We think we should fear other people or being treated wrong, being overwhelmed by someone's incredible might, or even an offensive word or an offensive song. Fear is not crying as people are dying. The real fear is not trying. But why should this be surprising? To control your actions, to control your thoughts, to keep you in a state of mind that you are afraid to do what is right. This is the power fear has over you. This is its weapon of choice, to keep you so afraid and so paranoid. In short, fear wants to be consistent. It takes no breaks. It doesn't go on vacation. It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with the sole purpose of controlling your entire life. So it's up to you to rid this fear. Dig a trench, be fearless, and start to fight. Like a soaring eagle, you will look into the stormy wind, not scared like the sailor, paralyzed by the wind's might, not with anger or confusion, but with confidence and with delight. As you will soon spread your majestic wings, jump off the mountainside and take flight, soaring through the air until you're out of sight, not worrying about being late for work or missing your flight. Birds do not sing because they have an answer to a question. A bird simply sings because it has a song, because it has no fear of things far or near. The bird is free to fly on the rooftops, on the trees. It flies anywhere it pleases. The fear of yourself can be burdensome or it can be light. It will keep you from singing your song, and most of all, it will keep you from doing what is right. It is your inner confusion as it seduces and bruises your emotions. It will keep your mind bound tight. It's like an infusion of delusion, like pollution, destitution, like you're fighting in Baghdad or Fallujah, a life-taking war without a conclusion. You cannot fear being judged or being mistreated, being a failure or being humiliated. These are vines in your life, one at a time, strangling, choking until the pressure you can no longer bear. Even when the tiniest, small like the palm of your hand spider webs, when they come together and unite, they will have the power to tie up a lion. And as this lion is trapped by these tiny spider webs, to no avail, the lion will continue to struggle and fight. But in the end, the mighty lion will lose his life. When you have no fear, even your smallest of actions, ridding bad habits, making new friends, will have great power and great might. This fear you have to reject, then inject and inspect it as you connect, collect, and correct it, even while your life is chaotic and hectic. Are you a tree or are you a vine? Now, if you are like the tree, you will battle your vine. Not even genocide or unthinkable crime will keep you from being free. You will sing like the birds so everyone can hear that you have no more fear because your time is very near. No enemy is too strong, too powerful. No obstacle is too high for you to clear. An African wise man once said, an army of meek and weak sheep, when led by a courageous and fearless lion, is more powerful than an army of mighty lions led by a frightened sheep. To overcome your fear and to one day see it depart, you need to be courageous, patient, and most of all smart. You must be stealth-like and strong and have lots of heart because this is your fear that you and you alone must bear. This is your challenge. This is your fight. This is your commitment to changing your life. Otherwise, you will never have peace. You will be like a barking dog with no teeth and no bite. You must understand your fear. It has been growing while you sleep at night. And face it head on, and understanding like the tree, I need a long plan to be fearless to win this fight. If you are in trouble and you will have obstacles, don't hesitate. I said do not be stubborn and don't hesitate to sound the alarm. Be prepared to ask for help. Be prepared to change how you act and think. You need to stop playing the blame game. Good works will not save you from fear. They are merely like a quenching drink, soothing for the moment, but like a chain with a kink because it's missing a link. Soon you will be thirsty again, seeking another drink, but it's all gone faster than you can wink. Your fear will all one day be over when you stop worrying about the little things throughout the year. So today is the day that you lose your fear. Stand tall, be deep-rooted like the tree, and endure the fear, for the end is near. I hope my message is clear on how to get rid of your fear. It has, when the vine with all its mights and efforts died, the tree with a plan to stand survived. When your fear dies, then you too will survive and you will thrive and soon realize how incredible you are and you will begin to fly. Are you a fearless tree or are you a blind vine? Today be like the tree and you too will thrive and in the end you will survive. You see, we are all survivors. Yes, we have all survived, but we have often been deprived, kind of capsized as our ship took on water. But we all survive, even as we lack the ability to thrive. Are you a tree or are you a vine? I want you to think deeply about a time that you had to be a fearless tree as the vines were intertwining, sucking and draining your ability to thrive. For me, I realized I was a tree over 10 years ago, when I had to decide to reach high or to stay low, to be fearless like the tree or continue roaming around aimlessly and blind like a bat taking a daytime nap. You see, we are all in our own ways like the tree. We grow, we bloom, all with the goal to be free, free from oppression, free from depression, free from addiction, free from obsessions, and most of all, we desire to be free from fear. I grew up in New England, a beautiful middle-class, predominantly white community. As a child, I was able to thrive, despite the fear of being that lost black child, not sure if I'm from North Carolina or from the Nile. I was a top student, an all-star athlete. I attended the best schools. I led a life of privilege. I had an awesome family and a great group of friends. I was consumed on the outside with accolades and recognition. I seemed to be free. It appeared that I was the master of my own destiny, creating my own legacy, fulfilling my own prophecy just to be me. the lost black child who thought he could see, but was blind, trying to find my purpose in life, not knowing my fate was already written in stone, and the vine that I was tangled in was there to hold me still and help me right my wrongs, fight for my throne, dig my trench deep, and weather the storm as I sing my song. Victory is near. Despite all the blood, sweat, and tears, the pulsating pain and suffering in silence, turning my kind hummingbird self into a fire-breathing dragon, ready to raise hell. I was burning with rage, consumed with vengeance and violence. My whole entire being was overshadowed with hate and confusion. So I endured through the years, searching for my fate as my state of mind deteriorates, missing all the loved ones we have lost both far and near. It is the daily wear and tear, the miles put on my boots, each and every blister on my foot, the sores and wounds like thorns piercing my soul, eating away at my flesh, leaving scars on my mind. They are simply to remind that one day I will find the lost black child who was full of love and kind, who is no longer blind. To this day, I can still hear the crowds at the stadium. For me, they would cheer, drowning out all my fear that no one else could see or hear. But only I knew this fear was always near, and in tough situations, it most certainly was going to appear. My fear residing within me is the fear of exclusion, the fear that I will not fit in or that I will not be included. I would ask myself, what did I do wrong? I knew how to mask my fear, covered up like I'm the CIA 365 days a year. No one will ever know that deep inside of me, I am full of fear. I'll just put a Band-Aid on it, or maybe I can drown it with beer. I can't complain about the pain. I don't have any regrets. I was a single-engine plane, and now I'm like a fighter jet. As a child, I led a good life. All my friends from school, they to this day treat me with respect, and most importantly, they treat me right. My parents loved me day and night. We lived in a nice house. We were never hungry, worried about heat or keeping on the lights, but my childhood plight to my delight. It was my struggle. This was my 10-round heavyweight fight. I was a wild and growing fire, ready to ignite. I accomplished many good deeds, climbed great mountains, and reached great heights. I did everything right so I could fit in. All I wanted to do was to be white. How can I change the color of my skin? I would ask God time and time again. I need to be white just like my friends and the people I see on TV. I want to be like them. I don't want to be like me. I don't want to be a pro football player. I want to own the team. I was made to build empires. This is my dream. My fear of exclusion made me a good person, make bad decisions. Some my fault and some the fault of others. I lost jobs because I did not mix in, nor was I a kin. I say it now with a grin, but ooh, back then I knew it was because of the color of my skin. Are you a tree or are you a vine? So I was fearful and not fearless like the tree. And on this one particular day, I was misidentified by the police. Picked up on the streets being accused of armed robbery because the victim, a white man, just wanted to get even. It had to be them, he adamantly said, as he walked around us like we were slaves getting ready to be sold to the Harris plantation. I knew I was going to jail. This man was robbed, no doubt. But it wasn't me, Mr. Officer. I wasn't even around. I was out and about. So he told the police, these two black guys robbed me. But I disagreed because he said they were both tall and dark-skinned, and anyone who knows me knows it couldn't have been me. But to my dismay, the police proceeded anyway. My fear grew stronger. The vines were ready to take me away, being deceived to what to believe until I got a reprieve, a brief and swift moment only my mind could conceive. You see, the victim patted me on my head like a dog waiting to be fed. To the police, he said, I don't know what they look like because they had on masks in this dark, dark night. That's right. It's not because of my height, not because my skin is light, but he said my afro of all things. How was he an expert on afros? He said it looked really tight, like I was wearing a mask, and somewhere I had a gun to hide. Crazy as it sounds, this man could have turned my life upside down. So because the robbers were masked, I was unceremoniously let go. At that very moment, my mind started to grow, being a well-educated and soft-spoken black man trapped in the dilemma of trying to fit in. Even though I was raised in an all-white community, I was accepted because I was light-skinned and knew how to be polite. But deep down inside, I knew this wasn't right. I was a lost black child, lost in the middle of the pack. A follower, not a leader. But little did I know I had to follow, stumble, and fall in order to be a great leader who one day, like a courageous lion that can inspire a herd of sheep to never retreat and to defeat a pack of hungry lions. As a child, I was silent, stuck in a dichotomy led by science, light but not white. And to my black friends, I was not dark enough to join their fight. I was too cozy with the white man. They couldn't trust me. I was Uncle Tom. He will turn on his own people just to save his life. Not knowing I was ready to give my life for this fight, living in two worlds, one black and one white. A confused black child with no understanding, no insight on how to win this fight. I did not have to sit in the back, but the rest of my race was under attack. I had to be broken down and humbled so I could defeat all these murmurs and mumbles. To the law, this life-changing situation, harassed by the police for no reason. To them, it was over and that was that, even though I was only minutes away from jail being my new habitat. Are you a tree or are you a vine? So I found myself one day when it looked like I was losing, but I was really winning. I moved to LA, the land of dreams. Ended up doing all the wrong things in the wrong places, fighting for racial equality. That was my fight. In my South Central home, there were gunshots every night, police helicopters, megaphones telling us all, stay in your house. This was my plight. I thought I was doing what was right. Then, to my delight, when I was drinking a glass of water, it all became clear. It was right in plain sight. How then can I have the right insight to fight this oppression that has been going on for hundreds of years? How can I end it in one night? So I placed my clear glass on the table. I said, God, you an all-powerful entity. You flow like the water. You go to and fro. You are the life-giving water, cleansing and bringing life everywhere you go. So I poured the water into the clear glass, and it dawned on me, I can see at last. The water is not white or black. It is clear. You can see from front to back. So while we were making a lot of fuss, and much rightly so, over this offense or that, to get on the right track, we, and I mean me, need to realize that like the clear water, it doesn't matter if you are white or black. It helped to ease my fear. It helped me to see and hear as an American people, we fear the other man. We fear the brother man. We even fear the farmer trying to live life in the motherland. So I broke this yoke of fear. Packed my bags, moved to Africa. I was on my way to a new career. 3 great kids and a beautiful wife. 8 years later, Africa was very good to me. There was no time to fear because life was too precious, too dear. The daily struggle, the vines were always near, but we persevered. We started to thrive as we strive to help African children, to help save lost lives. We were arrested for no reason, placed in a cell not fit for someone who committed treason. Our dog was stolen, lost poison and died. Yes, I'm a grown man, but boy, I cried. I loved my little buddy. I loved him. He gave me great pride. We rode dangerous buses and matatus. These are vans often overfilled in capacity and driving on bumpy dirt roads like they are doctors rushing to surgery. We almost lost our baby. When she was born, yes, the head was out. As I held it like a precious jewel, I held it and I kept steady, but there was no nurse, no doctor, not even an orderly to help. Finally, to my surprise, a nurse looked in the window to see what was going on. Immediately, she jumped into action, barking out instructions to me in Swahili. As this great fear was on me, I just told the nurse, do what you have to do. I'm holding this baby's head. I'm not losing this child. She's our angel and our princess. And just like that, in a flash, here comes baby Hazel, smiling and happy, just like her mommy, with beautiful black hair almost down to her back. But in reality, when her life was in danger, I felt like having a heart attack. I was trapped like a mouse, cornered by a cat, but I was fearless like the tree. If I had to, I would have delivered that baby. No vine was going to strangle me. I have many more stories to tell, many more good and some not so good. Moments that helped me overcome my fear. I've seen people die. I've seen people starving. I've seen kids selling their souls for money. I've seen patients lined up outside hospitals. I've seen water become the most valued commodity. Some things I could not believe. Leprosy and a slew of unnecessary diseases. I've lived beneath the trees, hearing the roar of the lion, wondering, is he coming after me? But I was free, with no fear. Today is a new day. I am living with no fear. I am a mighty tree, fearless and ready to fulfill my dreams and my destiny, and to shed myself of the vines, the bad influences, the poor decisions, the negative things on my mind. We are going to rid these vines. They are growing blind. They are wild with the sole purpose of destroying you, making you taste like bile. It has been too long. These lines have been on for us for a while. Take heed to this motivational spoken word so you will begin to thrive, and then you will arrive as you rise at your place of fearlessness, your place of no vines, your place of peace and happiness. You will no longer regress or be in distress. So stand tall like the fearless tree. You will have no regrets. Rid yourself of the wild and blind vines. It is all there in plain sight, so everyone can see. So I ask you once again, are you a vine or are you a tree? Are you fearless or are you blind? I choose to be a tree. I stand tall, deep-rooted, and immovable, fearless, and most of all, I am finally free. So this vine that got intertwined and finally could not find because it was blind and it had no plan for the cold and snowy nights when you need to be warm and not wild, losing yourself, trying to control others, trying to eat the whole pie in one bite. So if the world can face this great Hitler fear, 50 million dead and generations of tears, you too can face your fear and no longer have it within you. The enemy's trying to terrorize you and take control from you, that which is near and dear. These enemies are outside you. They cannot hurt you because by defeating your fear, they will no longer be able to besiege you. So it was in 2006. I faced my fear head on. I dreamed I had visions of reaching out to my African brothers and sisters. Am I black or white? A Mzungu by day and a Negro by night. I take great pride in my family and especially in the motherland where I got my first insight. As I soon realized that the African boy in the books and on TV that I'd always see with no fear or worries, skillfully climbing the tree, that African boy is really me. Are you a tree or are you a vine?